after getting it in a feature
I'm
match.
just not sure. I'll answer more questions at the end of this round, just for keeping the authenticity of keeping the coverage going. So, again, you can see the black and white ARG mats, which can be won in feature mat in side events throughout this weekend. Only $5. These 8-man tournaments award you enough points for an invitation, 20 to the championship over the summer, and a black or white playmat of your choice.
And they just look really nice. I'm a really big fan of the black playmat. I think that just looks really, really clean.
Absolutely. So, the all-important die roll, of course. New ARG mat is much nicer. Yeah, I really like these mats. So 667 players now. Hopefully we can start to get back up towards the 800 number.
And there's the friendly handshake to get things started. And they're getting started about 3:17, which is about a minute and a half after the round has started. So they'll get just a little bit of a time extension.
I'm not even sure it's necessary at this point. They really started like everyone else. So no Ophion, just Thunderbird and 3 back rows.
But those 3 back rows can definitely be scary. He is running quite the plethora of traps.
I mean, he obviously would have rather to just start the game with Ophion, though. I mean, it's games with Ophion, games without Ophion is just two dramatically different things. Yeah, to the best of my knowledge, both these players are 3-0. Billy was 2-0 last I talked to him. So.
Yep. So it looks like we're
using Tempest. Yeah, look at this.
Tempest.
He's not forgetting Tempest. Tempest with Tempest. No forgetting.
He didn't forget to act. Well, he actually...
oh, but no, he picked his deck up.
Okay, there we go.
I mean, it's mandatory at this point. So
exactly.
Adding Redox to his hand. And then Redox bring out Tempest. Using all of these Dragon Ruler secondary effects. So Tempest has hit the table. Let's see what Robert decides to do. I mean, if he doesn't use the Thunderbird, presumably we can read that he has some type of defensive trap. Dimensional Prison, perhaps. Did he play Dimensional? Let's see here. Nope, no Dimensional Prison. So it could presumably be... There actually is not much that can stop attacks. Just Book of Moon.
Yeah, he has Compulse, Phoenix Wing, and Book of Moon.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like strictly like Mirror Force, he doesn't play Mirror Force at all.
Yep, there's the Phoenix Wing. So
yeah, that's presumably what we thought would have to happen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he could have also activated Forbidden Dress.
No, that's maxi.
That wouldn't have put enough on there, so never mind.
Oh. So, why did he pitch with Redog? Oh, he pitched the Flying Sea. So now he's banishing 2 for a title. 1 Tempest and 1 Blaster. See, this is an interesting thing. Players are always reluctant to use Tempest, for example, in an awkward situation like this, banishing it, but he already has a copy of it in his graveyard, so banishing it here and not being able to search isn't that detrimental. It's a slight...
Mm-hmm. Okay. He needs to make sure at this point that he can get some field presence and field advantage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some players would be reluctant to make this play. Some people would be reluctant to banish Tempest like that. Like, I want to search, but sometimes the search is just not as important. So is that Scrap Dragon hit the table? Absolutely. And he passes. Kirkion. And Billy discards a Maxi. Unfortunately, he opened up with 2 copies of Maxi against Evil Swarm. Yeah, that's
one thing
not ideal. Yeah, that's not ideal. So it looks like we'll be seeing something hit the table, a Ophion. So if he's going to Ophion, he must have something like Dress or Compulse or et cetera, et cetera. He actually plays 2 copies of Smashing Ground, so he could presumably he could have presumably have set one of them.
Absolutely.
Let's see what this ends up doing. His attack, and yeah, Billy just sees it writing on the wall. He knows, yep, the Dress hits the table. So
at that point, you just don't declare an attack without having something.
Yeah.
Or, well, that makes 0 sense saying it that way.
The Dress gets 600 attack, right?
You don't make the play. Yeah, minus 600, so good 250 damage, I believe.
350.
350? Yes, you're right.
Exactly 700 plays in. We are live here. 4th round of the ARG Worcester Circuit Series. Alt Reality Games bring you live coverage start to finish, cover to cover. Round 1 all the way up until the finals.
2550 damage dealt to Billy there.
Yeah, another
So
2,550 points of damage. Brings Billy down to
not really looking good for him at
5,100.
this
Yeah.
point. And another just direct attack.
That was Wabaku. Oh, and we're going into the next game. So, Lord Ophion does what Lord Ophion does and beats Dragon Rulers. So, we'll let the player side deck and we'll take a closer look exactly what we have going on here.
Absolutely.
So, let's see. Billy will probably put in the drains. I mean, Robert and Billy are two huge friends, so they always discuss situations like, do we side skill drain in? So definitely drains will go in, encores.
Drains, encores, maybe the fire ferrets and the Dyna.
Yep, something like that. I'm not sure. I mean, definitely Dyna's be interesting to see if he puts them in. So he'll probably take out, like, Scarecrow's probably not that important. Wabaku. Emptiness.
The Maxis.
Maxis, yeah, of course. I was slowly getting there. So, yeah, probably about enough cards there. Card Troopers maybe just... I mean, Card Troopers good, I guess, but...
Yep.
We'll see. Robert, though, will definitely be putting in Debunk, Emptiness, Dimensional Fissure, perhaps, Maxi, Eradicator. No, not Eradicator. Thunder King, rather.
Yeah, Thunder King is too good. There are a lot of things in his side deck that he could put in.
And we'd be taking out stuff like... I mean,
No,
I'm not sure. Dark Illusion? I'm not sure.
Dark Illusion, the only thing... Well, there are plenty of things in the deck that still target Ophion, and that's the thing he's most worried about.
Probably Smashing. Smashing is
Smashing
kind of
Grounds aren't as useful because of the fleet of Stardusts that they play now, as well as...
He's also playing one O Lantern, so perhaps that.
A Lantern probably will be a side out as well.
He's playing 3 Thunderbirds, so that's too many. 3 Mandragoras, he can take out one of those.
You don't really want to mess with the monster count in your Evil Storms whenever you're siding, mainly because you have to guarantee that you're going to open 2 to make that Ophion on that first play.
Interesting. No, Billy does not play Flying Sea. That's incorrect.
Nope, we are looking at the deck list, and there are 0 Flying Seas.
Yeah, that was a Max that you saw in the graveyard that previous game. Sorry for the... No, he does not. I'm looking at the deck list. Absolutely, he does not. What subject do I teach? I'm not quite a teacher yet, but it would be history. Yep, no problem. What's going on with the stream? If there's anything going on with the stream, it's presumably it's more than likely your own internet connection because we have
a different internet connection here that we're attached to, and we're getting pretty good quality out of it. We're not getting any intense amounts of lag that's related to the internet or to the stream itself. We're getting a little bit of lag with the internet that we are using. So outside of that,
Billy's opened up here with a Dragon's Ravine, followed by a pitch of Tempest. So I'll go back to answering questions at the end of the round. Tempest sending Redox. So let's see here. Looks like he has at least a title in his hand. So yeah, this is always one of the most opportune openings. This is what I was talking about earlier about the Maxi. It really depends on his hand if this was a correct play. I guess in an Evil Swarm deck, the ability to drop Ophion makes it so that you want to make it so that your opponent has less incentive to go into Draco Sack. And like I was saying, with Billy, the Dragon Ravine, pitching a dragon, sending a dragon, summoning a dragon. Incredible opening hand. Incredible opening. So let's see what he ends up doing. So with Tempest, he has the opportunity to search, I believe, a Corseska. Yeah, he has Corseska. So Corseska and, of course, just the other copy of Redox. He has no other dragons that are Earths in his deck. Oh, nope. Kid Moto Dragon. Ooh, okay, let's see. Let's see what we end up getting. All right, Corseska. He's not using Redox. Oh boy. Did you already use Redox? Did I missed it? Did Billy get that one? I wasn't looking. He does not play Trigon. He plays Kid Moto Dragon. No Trigon here.
Yep, he has ditched his Trigun strategy and has gone to Kidmodo Dragon.
Uh-huh. So he goes ahead and sets a back row with his Colossal Fighter. Oh, he used Redux. Okay.
And there's the smashing grab.
That was interesting. That probably was not what Billy was hoping. So, Catter hits the field, and he's not using the effect, so presumably we will not be seeing Lord Ophion this turn.
Just for
3 back rows. Yeah, just 3 back rows. No problem. No worries. So, Billy draws. Pitches for Dragon's Ravine, to which Robert looks like he might have the MST. Yeah. Oh, it resolves, so we'll be resolving Dragon's Ravine here. I really think Billy wanted that to resolve, so that's huge for him. Yeah, he sends the Tempest, yeah. I know he has a Debris Dragon in his hand, so it'd be interesting why he might not have gone for the Kid Modo. Oh, no, he doesn't play. Just trust Billy. Yep, summons Title from the graveyard, banishing Tempest and Redox. Maybe here is where he'll search for the final copy of Redox and... Oh, no, yep, try not to reveal any cards. That's not ideal. Yeah, 748 players now. We've had close to 800, so... If you know anyone who enjoys this game, feel free to send them over a link and have them join in on the conversation. We've been here since round 1 here at ARG Worcester Series, giving you live coverage for the first time in our company's history. First time in this game's history. Round 1 all the way up until the final. So Phoenix Wing Blast has been activated to bounce a title, putting Billy to the test.
This is just not a good position for him.
I mean, you knew Robert had back rows that did something, so, like, what else could you do?
But there's not much.
I mean, you have to bait them out. Like, that's what Billy has to do. He has to bait them out and then go over the top. He may have the cards to do it. Let's see. Oh, all right, we're going to hoping that he doesn't draw an Evil Swarm is really what Billy's thinking right now.
There's another 1750.
Never seen. Yep, so Billy drops to 4,600. So just another back row. I mean, Billy has to be glad that that's how that turn went. I mean, look at this. He MSTs and he's put back in the exact same position he was the previous turn. Just now he gets to use all his Dragon Ruler. So he's glad Robert didn't draw an Evil Swarm. Glad that he's not put under the pressure of Ophion. Now has another entire turn to bait through the back rows and just go off from there.
Yep, and I should mention that he's actually at 45 instead of 46 because it is 1750 that Caster has and not the 1700. So.
Oh, it's 1750. Yeah, my apologies. Yep, so Billy is in fact at 4,500. So quick modification there. I see Patrick Hoping walking around the venue with pants on. That's quite impressive.
Oh my gosh, he has pants.
Full pants, not just his shorts. Anyway, back to the feature. There we go. Blaster and Title have been banished to summon Redox, searching Title and another copy of Blaster. Title in defense indicates to me that he may be just passing, but I'm not sure. Nope, Debris Dragon. See, I knew he had one of these earlier. So let's see what ends up happening. Of course, his only target is Flame Veil Guard. Putting him in an interesting position. He's already... No, the last game was when game used Scrap Dragon. No, was it this game? It was Colossally used this game.
Yeah,
so he loves Colossal this game. So
still has
Scrap Dragon. Yeah, absolutely. That's what he's going to absolutely go into. I mean, he has the free Debris there. Perhaps he has something he can chain in the back row. So let's see what Billy can figure out here. I mean, sometimes there are even situations where your Ravine has gotten all the value. You have another in your hand. So he's targeting a back row. Presumably, I think this is going to be a chainable card. So let's see what it is. Yeah, Wing Blast. Yeah, that was very easy. So now he's going to probably target the back row and try and go for some type of game-ending play. Puts Tempest to the grave, sends that to the top of his deck. Now he should be in fantastic position. He chained the dress. Oh, yeah, okay, yep. We knew this. Yeah, Billy makes swift work here of Robert in game 2, so we'll be going into game 3. It'll be interesting. Robert will be able to go first, have the opportunity to drop Ophion before Billy has anything he'll be able to do. So.
At least this wasn't a 2-0 blowout. So.
No, absolutely. We have a very competitive match here. Mm-hmm. Still with plenty of time left in the round, too. Well, I mean,
the Evil Swarm player, Robert, does play Torrential Tribute in his main deck for Nicky Nick, who was asking.
Yeah, I mean, he just probably didn't have it there. That was the real the real problem for him.
Sushi 515 does bring up a good point that Billy is a little lucky that
Oh, absolutely.
that Robert only drew one monster that
You see, but I mean, he is lucky, but the deck has a low monster count, and Billy knew that when he summoned counter and didn't summon another Evil Storm monster, so you have to. There's a situation where it's like, okay, I understand my opponent has no monsters. He didn't use his effect. He didn't go into Ophion. What are the chances now that he draws one on the next turn? Like, I can make a play that baits out a back row. And if he doesn't draw that monster, can't go into Ophion, I'll be able to use my Dragon Rulers and then take advantage of it, which is really what ended up happening there. Sometimes you have to make a play that puts you in the best position.
Yep.
And Billy's like, I'll play the odds. I mean, I can force out a back row here. I only can use so many Dragon Rulers, and I can't really do anything if he draws that monster going into Ophion. Well, and he had Wing Blast set anyway.
Yep.
So even if he did go to Ophion, unless you have that infestation pandemic, you're in great position. So a lot of things had to go against Billy. Oh, right. Well, talking about things going against Billy, we see Rescue Rabbit at the table. Pretty good card.
I'd say that's a pretty good card.
Mm-hmm. Does Robert sign Iron Wall? That's a question.
Robert
he does not.
The Iron Walls at all. He
Nope.
does side Emptiness.
Yeah, he does.
Iron Walls.
So
that is
looks like a Ophion 4 back row opening hand, which is reasonable.
It's going to be an Ophion and 5 back row by the end of it, I think.
Yeah, see, the problem is here is you oh, no.
Oh, there's the 5th back row. He already did the search.
Oh, we already did the search. Okay. You never want to set cards with Ophion until you use the effect just in terms of shielding certain cards. So let's see what Billy can come up with. Well, he has Fire Ferret in his hand. That might be interesting.
The unfortunate thing about Ferret for him right now is that since Robert does run Forbidden Dress, if he has the Forbidden Dress, he can still activate that during damage calculation to protect Ophion.
Again, it gets to a point where it's like, well, what can I do anyway?
Yep.
Oh, boy, yeah, this isn't good for him. So now what will end up happening here is he'll be able to use his Ophion's effect to go get a Pandemic, detaching the Heliotrope, putting another Evil Storm in the grave, banishing Heliotrope, summoning Heliotrope, Kirkan going into the second Ophion.
And just make lots of nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely. What would be interesting is if Robert knew about Fossil Dyna and didn't have Forbidden Dress, he could attack the Ophion and presumably killing it and then going into Kirkgami in phase 2. So I don't think he knows about it, but just an interesting point out there. If Fossil Dyna ends up becoming popular, that might be important going forward.
Most definitely.
Look at what he attacked into. He attacked into Fossil Dyna Patch Lafama.
Fossil Dyna. So either he didn't have the dress there or he just didn't think
he just didn't need to.
Again.
Who needs to? Billy is not in good shape here.
Not really at all.
Let's see if he can muster a way out of this. I'm not sure he'll be able to.
Attention circuit series players, maintenance attendees. At this time, we are now opening up side events. We are taking winner boxes. The $10 winner boxes and championship qualifiers are $5. That's again, it's side events $5 championship qualifiers.
So did he use Blaster to hit the? Yeah, it looks like he hit Blaster on the infection. Interesting why he chose to do that. And sets him up. Yeah, he probably does that because he doesn't want him to summon an Evil Storm going to another Kirkion. I mean, it's a tough position to be in. So fencing Fire Ferret. Let's see if he has the Forbidden Dress. Yep, puts him to test. Oh, debunk. That's not good for Billy. And another back row. And another back row. And I think this one will be over soon. So Billy draws, looks at what he has. And, well, I think he's got Sword. I guess 2 new cards might help. 1, 2. Did he get there? That's the question. I mean, he has like Trap Stun, Encore into something that might help, but I'm not sure what he can do here.
The reason, I'm thinking he has Encore because that's the reason that he would want to hit the trap card, because then if you encore,
Yeah.
you can use the trap card and send a monster, grab a Kirkion, and just do it all again.
Yeah. Similar score, I believe, right? He's just attacking the face-down monster this whole game, so.
Yeah, there has not been any life point damage. It's all been straight into face-down monsters.
I wouldn't say that Billy's necessarily nervous. Someone talks about how fast Billy's playing, like his hand
yeah.
movements. He's always like that, trust me. Oh, skill drain, okay. Well, of all the things that might help, that's one of them. So 1,000 life points on Billy's end. And see, if he doesn't lose this turn, or next turn rather, if he uses Pandemic here to enjoy a turn of Ophion's effect, Billy will have the following turn to try and make a comeback. Obviously, you can chain Pandemic to the card's effect, the Dragon Ruler presumably, and have Ophion kick back in. But it'll be interesting to see what Billy decides to do here. Oh yeah. Well, no, Robert, it got debunked, so there was no damage taken. Lord Ophion wouldn't be on the field anymore if that was the case. So he's summoning Redox, and this is here where their Pandemic will play, and then Redox will go back to the hand. Fantastic. So let's see if Billy can muster a play on the following turn when Skill Drain goes back into effect. Of course, he'll be resolving the effect of his blaster, searching out a copy of another blaster. Yeah, Billy does need this to be a long game. He sets what I believe is a card trooper. I mean, I think that's what it was. So let's see here what Robert draws. A Mandragora. That's probably best case scenario for Billy. Like, if he's summoning Mandragoras and stuff, like, I'm okay with that. I'll draw my card off card trooper, and I'll take my 1,600 and...
16.
Oh, that's a Thunder bird, so 1,650. So Billy will drop from 7,000 to 5,350, and now a Soul Drain. So Robert will take 1,000 life points, and I will just play a game with a bunch of drains on the field. This will be interesting. Billy drew off of Card Trooper and his card for turn, so let's see if 2 cards deeper can help him get out of the situation. It really is going to need something like setting Trap Stun and surviving a turn and then resolving Trap Stun. I mean, Sword certainly helps. You definitely want to dig deeper into your outs. But Soul Drain's a problem, Ophion's a problem. Presumably, Robert hasn't used either of the detachments on Ophion because he already has more Pandemics, he already has all of his infestation cards, so you can assume he has a Pandemic set, which he can chain again like he did on the previous turn, so Billy needs to bait it out this turn and survive and do it again the following turn. So we have Billy banishing Blaster and Card Trooper for Redox. And Pandemic has been activated. MST chained on I'm not sure. We'll see what ends up getting hit with MST. Oh, on the Soul Drain? Or
Yep.
So, okay, yeah, and then Redox doesn't hit. I was confused why Redox was on the table for a sec. So, Billy will get to resolve Blaster. He chained the MST so we can search out Blaster's effect, get him a guard. Presumably here he'll maybe set the guard and hopefully survive. That's really all he has the opportunity to do here. Couple of back rows and passes over to Robert, who draws for his turn. His one freshly drawn card is the only card in his hand. He attacks in with Lord Ophion. I'm going to guess this is, well, you'll see Flame Vulgar. No, Corseska. So relatively the same thing. So, like I said, Billy's really just trying to mount a defense and find a way to make it so that he can survive enough turns to set up something like a Trap Stun, set up a way to survive through Pandemics. He's out of Dragon Rulers in the graveyard, which can be a problem. I mean, if he has Return for the Different Dimension, things could go wrong for Robert, but I guess we'll have to see how this plays out. It's fascinating, this matchup here. Real tense part of the game. You know he has at least one Flame Vulgar in hand, so he can set and prolong the game just a little bit longer.
If you signed up for a certain qualifier earlier today,
797 players, last I've checked. We're just about to eclipse 800 players here at the ARG Circuit Series live in Worcester, Massachusetts. We've been here since round 1, and we'll be covering you all the way up to the finals tomorrow. So feel free to come back tomorrow. Join Joe Giolando and Kayla Nelson here in the booth, giving you live commentary and play-by-play from start to finish, cover to cover of this entire event. Billy's in a really interesting situation. See, this is the methodical play stuff I was talking about from round 1. I mean, in situations like this warrants it, but round 1 was just very interesting. All right, so he uses Blaster's effect, gets rid of a debunk, and it's going to be interesting what he sees to do now here. So if he's trying to bait out back rows, he's afraid of something. I mean, I don't think debunk was necessarily it, but he's definitely afraid of something. So we're going to banish both of his tuners to try and summon a Redox. That hits the table. Okay, fantastic.
Was this not on the same turn where Ophion used Pandemic to...
No, that was the previous turn. So he's baited that out 2 turns in a row. So he's gone through presumably both copies of Pandemic. Let's see, does he play 3?
He plays the 3.
Oh, he does. So maybe he side one up. Sorry about that. And we officially at over 800. We are officially over 800 players. Thank you. I keep saying players. Thank you, 800 people all around the world watching here live in Worcester. I'm Joe Giolando with Kayla Nelson, giving you live coverage of the 3rd ever ARG Circuit Series event and the 1st ever where we'll have live coverage from start to finish. So let's see what Billy decides to do here.
Absolutely.
XYZ Encore. Interesting. So Kirkion and Heliotrope will go to defense mode. You see, this way, yeah, the fencing fire thing will hit that, and then this way he won't be able to exceed summon anymore. And he'll take 500 points of damage, dropping him down to 6,500. So see, now if Billy has something like Return or Traps, he might be able to finally weed his way back into this. You see, because he never detached off the Ophion, you can assume that Robert had the 3rd Pandemic if he left it in his deck. And Billy knows that, so he really can't go into a play where he gets blown up by that 3rd Pandemic because it'll negate the skill drain, put Ophion back into effect. So he's the XYZ Encore this way to get Ophion off the field in the battle phase so that he'll be able to survive, which is all important in that.
Just to clarify for people, Encore does not only summon just one monster, it summons both materials, or it summons materials that are currently attached to the monster when it sees Encore is activated.
Oh, interesting. Look at this play. He's playing Pandemic, so he's playing the 3rd. Now he's going to use Kirkion's effect to put Caster on the field. This is a fantastic play from Rob. I definitely going to talk to him about this play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, so Billy might be having to face another Ophion. What is this? That is... Oh, the box. The box. Yeah, the skill drain hurts the possibility of Ophion. That's true, and now he has no Pandemic. So yeah, then that would make sense. But now we're playing against the box. The box.
Everybody loves the box. But now, Billy does have free reign over just summoning monsters as he needs to.
So this will be interesting to see. So he first starts off with Blaster, being able to search out a Redox because of the Redox's effect. And I'm not sure how much more he has here. Like, that Crazy Box might be able to do it for Robert. Let's see what these 2 cards in hand are. This is a pivotal turn in the match. We are here, in fact, game 3 between Robert and Billy. 814 viewers all around the world. Welcome to Worcester, Massachusetts for the 3rd ARG Circuit Series event and the 1st time, which we'll be bringing you live coverage from start to finish. So Robert looks incentivized to flip that back, or he's in a tough spot. You can really see from our angle, he's grueling this decision. Could it be Compulse or something? I'm not sure. Oh, no, he decides to just draw for turn. Okay. Shifts Kirkion, it shifts Heliotrope into attack mode. Perhaps this could be the turn he decides to try and finish him off. Only 3,750 life points left. Oh, it looks like he has another Kirkion. This could be big. And Book of Moon on Blaster. So does Billy have a way to stop an attack? Let's see. We know he plays Strip Scarecrow, but yes. I don't think he would keep it in this matchup.
Those traps could also be something.
Billy does in fact run.
He runs the Phoenix Wings and he runs the Wabaku.
Yeah, he has Wabaku. That would be crazy. He has 2 in his deck. So that would be an incredible turn of events. I mean, keep reading the crazy box. I mean, he's representing lethal with the 3 other creatures that can attack. So let's see if Billy has some way of stopping it.
Yep, there's the Wing Blast.
Yep, he has at least Wing Blast. So,
but he may decide not to activate it.
I mean, if he has Wing Blast and he has no other defensive card, that other backer, he's forced to activate Wing Blast here. So
he may be trying to decide between
it may be interesting to see what he's playing. It might be interesting to see what ends up happening here. Trap Stun, Chain Wing Blast, bouncing that, and now this way the Crazy Box will not be able to attack because of Skill Drain being negated by Trap Stun, allowing Billy to get rid of. Fascinating.
Now, does he have Evil Swarms in the grave? Because he could definitely use Kirkion at this point.
Yeah. So I'm not sure, but it looks like Billy drew for his turn, so presumably, I'm not sure exactly how that interaction worked, but yeah, fantastic use of the resources by Billy there. So now he'll be able to flip his blaster, and let's see if he was able to draw a card to get his way out of it. Attacks over Kirkion, so that'll be 1,200 points of damage, I believe Kirkion, 16, correct? Yeah, so 1,200 points of damage, bringing Robert down to a grand total of 5,300 points of damage. So now let's see if that back row he drew was defensive, he can stop the Crazy Box, but now he's just back in the position of facing down the Crazy Box. Yeah, he wasn't able to exceed some in that previous turn because some creatures were level 3 from XYZ Encore. Well, during the end phase, he can resolve Trap Stun and then resolve Blaster, so it stays on the field. So it would have been largely irrelevant, and he would have taken damage anyway.
200, yes.
Yeah, it's 200 points of damage. So you see, what Billy's doing here is he's trying to prolong the game. It gets to a point where in a lot of matchups and just a lot of games of Yu-Gi-Oh!, you're able to find ways to win by prolonging the game. 18. So both of those attacks.
Total of 1,800 damage.
So Billy was at, 3,550 originally, so that brings it down to 1,750. Yeah. So see, like, over the course of a long tournament, over the course of a game like this, if you can see more cards, that's all you're trying to do when you're in a position like Billy. You're playing against a stun deck, you're playing against a deck that's a bad matchup. If you can prolong the game and see more cards, sometimes you'll find a way to get out of it, and that's really all he's been trying to do. I mean, we saw the use of the Trap Stun there. We saw setting and searching guards and all the stuff he's been doing, just setting cards. Just let me draw more cards, draw more cards, draw more cards. Remember this game when Robert had 5 back rows? We've fought through this. Yeah, I mean, return from the different bench would be absurd. So it looks like Blaster's coming out. Is that what's happening here?
Nope, the Redox in defense mode.
Okay, yeah, this is fantastic.
This is one of the most important things right now is to make sure that there's something out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this will be able to brick him for basically ever. Yeah, this is a strong position to be. I mean, obviously not the greatest position, but certainly strong enough. It's a little title in hand, and that's it. Let's see if Robert can find a way out of this. Set a back row pass. Billy gets another draw phase. MST, that was huge. What was it? Warning? Okay. Well, let's see here. Imagine if you drew Return from a different dimension. Or that. That was an unbelievable draw from Billy Bragg. Let's see if he can draw to Return. And he still has a title left in his deck. So this is huge. That was an incredible draw for Billy.
He definitely needed to dig there so he could get victory.
Yeah. So. And he passes over to Robert. He draws. Staring at what might be 2 creatures, if I can tell. He puts Kirkion in defense mode, which is probably a good idea.
Yep.
Billy draws. I think he might have drawn out XYZ Encore, which would be huge here. Well, he's out of dragons in the graveyard, though, so he really needs another dragon. Yep, set the XYZ Encore, presumably. Passes over to Robert. See, Billy, all he hopes is draw monsters.
Yep.
Like Kirkion's a level 3. It doesn't do anything right now. I think that one's a level 3. Yeah, a lot of people would have scooped this game, yeah, but if we start with Robert Bayajian not scooping, trying to get information, we see it with Billy just trying to find a way to fight through it. It can happen. So now Crazy Box has some crazy effect that's going to kick in, and
Kinda
another
half his
skill
life
drain will be
points.
chained, bringing Billy to 950 life points. So, yep, we're seeing all of the skill drains come out. See, this is the real power of skill drain in the Dragon Ruler deck. It was like that in Teledad back in the day. They sided skill drain against some of the decks out there, like Gladiator Beasts and some of the rogue matchups, and you see it every single time these type of decks do well. It seems like skill drain just in the side deck. So it looks like Billy drew some type of back row set, passes over to Robert. This is a very intense game here, round 4 of the Ultra Reality Games Circuit Series. We have over 850 viewers all around the world tuning in for our third installment of the ARG Circuit Series and the first time we've been live from round 1.
At this point, he's just trying to deck thin as much as possible to make sure he can get to return.
Seems like
Because
it.
that's his big out right now.
Honor of announcing the first qualifier flight for our championship series next summer. So, for those of you that have signed up for wave 1 of our championship qualifier, please make your way up to the side of that station located at the Judges Station. Again,
Yeah, he really is pretty much playing for a return at this point. So let's see what Billy can do here. Yeah, Redox skill drain, quite strong. So uses the Ravine to pitch the Redox. So now he at least has a couple dragons. I mean, I remember he had one in hand from previous turn, so he might have enough to summon one. Look at that banish pile. Literally just everything you can imagine out there.
It's almost everything in the deck.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I haven't seen banish piles that big since Chaos Dragons.
And it's just, even that is just insane. Look at this. Incredible. Yep, so here's Tidal. Right. Searching for, he still has a target, Debris Dragon? Yeah, presumably Debris Dragon, of course. Again, at this point, even if you draw 6 cents, I wouldn't even play it. You need to draw a return. So he summons Debris Dragon, so we can have some Star Reader action here. Of course, leaving Redox on defense mode, again, walling him. Walling the Crazy Box, and now summoning a monster bigger than Crazy Box. So this puts Robert to the test, because now if he drew a Wing Blast or a Compulse to get rid of the Redox, he has to now have 2 ways to deal with what Billy's doing. So let's see what ends up happening here.
There goes Robert's big monster. Most likely.
Yeah, this is a fantastic game. See, what Billy might be trying to do here is bait Robert into activating a trap card and then just chaining return. So XYZ Encore is activated, and Star Eater can attack the Kirkion. Interesting decision. And pass. So Robert draws, sets a back row, and passes back to Billy Break. Oh, no, never mind. Special summons Mandragora. See, look at this. The game has turned, and now it's Robert's playing defensive with his cards. Draw. Is it return? Maybe. It looks like he drew Book of Moons.
This match certainly took a huge turnaround.
I mean, it's just
from
been
where
an
it started.
incredible match. Just from start to finish. I mean, we saw Robert open up the wrap at this game, and now we're just in a grind game. Players are setting monsters. This has been incredible. The Star Eater and the Redox, 2 huge threats, 3,000 plus attack or defense points. Robert has a very difficult time dealing with that much attack points, and as long as Billy can just continue this and avoid cards to get rid of the skill drain, he may be able to pull this one out. Like, he already used Crazy Box, and that's about the maximum amount of attack without something like Forbidden Dress or Lance involved. So at this point, Billy's gaining card advantage by just attacking monsters. So that's an MST on the card that was just set, Forbidden Dress. I probably would have kept Forbidden Dress in my hand, because one of the only ways you're going to win is using Forbidden Dress to somehow push through that 950 points of damage. And at this point, it's clear that he has nothing, and Billy's in a huge position, taking control. Putting the Redox to attack mode indicates to me that, well, I mean, that card was still in the deck, right? So the game is going to continue now. So let's see what happens. This has been incredible.
At this point, Billy just needs to put a monster out back in defense mode.
Yeah, he needs something. So does he have enough dragons to summon Redox again?
He should have plenty. He should have plenty. Of
yeah, I mean, he has Star Eater.
Well, I say plenty of dragons, but
I mean, plenty is a loose term.
He should have the Star Eater and the Debris.
And the Debris. Oh yeah, Debris Dragon, absolutely. So yeah, he absolutely can just summon that still back. So he's still in good position. It's just he's not going to be able to go offensive with a Star Eater anymore. Oh, he's going to own the title. So I mean, yeah, this is risky. The bottomless tarantula. Yeah, bottomless.
Tarantula.
Yeah. Does he have a trap stun or something? That's the big question. Nope, banish. Tarantula. Draws. Creature and the back row home. And this game will continue. Billy draws. His hand is double Ravine.
Just so many cards all over the place.
How an intense game. A draw. Is it a creature? No. Back row. Draw. Skill drain.
Good series players. That is time. Time in a round. Current player finishes first turn to take 5 additional
Draw. Set a back row. Unbelievable. Draw.
Raise your hand and call for a judge.
He looks like he drew Fossil Dyna. It'd be interesting to see what he does here. He'll be going into time. So, yeah, summon Dyna.
Summon Fossil Dyna.
Attack.
I mean, you might as at that point you might as well start.
So that'll
getting
bring
some
Robert to
damage in.
4,100 points of life. He still has a reasonable lead. Does he draw a creature? Yes.
There is a monster right there.
Let's see what ends up happening here.
Now, can he summon it safely? That is the question.
And now, does Billy have a Wing Blast or something? So, there it is. This will keep him alive, though. He still have some life after this attack. An attack. So, of course, these players have a slight time extension, which we've been giving them. I think they are now beginning to go into end of time procedure. As you can, Billy literally has 2 cards left in deck, so turns don't matter. He has to hope that top card is returned for the different dimension and not the bottom card.
Now, the good thing is that putting this Dyna in the grave will give him
An earth, yeah.
water, a dragon, and an earth. to
Yeah,
banish the
something,
Redux.
something. Slowly approaching 900 players watching the ARG Circuit Series all around the world.
Yep.
900 people. I keep saying that. It's incredible. 900 people.
I don't know. I'd probably say they're players.
They're probably players technically, but they're not players here. We have 440 players, give or take, here at the ARG Circuit Series.
So there was a Phoenix Wing Wind Blast that did keep Billy in this game.
Yep.
And there goes a Fencing Fire Ferret on top there as well, just to throw some more damage on the board.
Yeah, yes. So it looks like Return is literally the last card in his deck if he didn't draw.
17 and 12.
So that'll drop him to...
Drop him 3,900 life, or not 39, 2,900 life. So it'll be at 1,200.
Yeah, you're down to 1,200. So Billy is still behind, but that Fencing Fire Ferret can attack.
Monster or bust at this point.
I mean, he has a Wing Blaster, so he knows there's a creature on top. Isn't that what we saw last turn? Like what's going to end up happening here? So an MST, is it a good card? Oh, that's the one Billy needed. And then...
He made the right choice, flipping the
Yeah, he's
Dyna
going to
face
flip that face down. That's obvious, because now he'll only be able to deal 200 more points of damage by attacking over the Fencing Fire Ferret, and the 500 points of damage may actually matter dramatically. The other card was an Exposition card, which isn't particularly that relevant right now. So here, Robert's, of course, going to draw the Catter, I believe is what was put on top. Yeah, literally 1 card in deck left for Billy, so he needs to win the next turn. What an incredible, incredible epic game. It doesn't look like we'll be able to bring Billy or Robert into the booth to talk about what happened, but this has been an epic game. Hopefully later in the day we can, because this has been one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. This has been just an incredible back and forth match. .904 players. We've officially eclipsed 900 players. It seems like every round we get 100 more players, so 100 more viewers. Thank you to everyone all around the world tuning in to the ARG Circuit Series here in Worcester, Massachusetts. So Catter has hit the field, and let's see what happens. All right.
So just running over the Dyna.
Just running over the Dyna, but that's going to deal 500 points of damage. Is it only by battle? How does Ferret work? We should look
It's
that.
whenever it's I believe it's whenever it's destroyed.